All right. So how you doing, young man?
Pretty well. How you doing, Dr. White?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Every time you call me Dr. White, I feel even better. So I stand taller and sit higher. So I appreciate that. I really do.
Cool. But yeah, we got a few prescriptions you got to get back.
Okay.
Or comments, shall I say.
Comments, yeah, that's good. That's good. I love comments. Here's where I am. I think that we need to be in an environment, in a society, where people can feel free to express their ideas and their opinions because it's their idea and it's their opinion. And then other folks, if they're comfortable with that, they accept it. If they're not comfortable with it, then what they should do is to respond back and say, what about this and what about that? And why did you say this? Or I agree or this. It's okay to disagree. That's how the world was made. That's how scientists do the things that they do, improve something. Someone says, no, Joe, I don't believe that. They argue about it. They come up with another, and it grows. So as a society, the kind of society, a democratic society that we're in, that is the essence of what we are about. And we should all be able to do that and ask any questions at any time, any way. That's why I open my classrooms. I tell people in my classroom, if you're in my classroom, I want you to feel free to talk about this topic. If I put something up on the screen, I want to make sure that if you're comfortable with it, you say, hey, that's good stuff. If you're not comfortable with it, say, Jim, I don't know where you got that from. How do you validate that? And then it's up to me. It's my responsibility to show them my proof source. If I can't show them the proof source, guess what I tell them? I'm going to take it down because it's not true. That's how I operate. So I would love to hear the comments from the people that have been listening. So if you have any comments, man, go to the most challenging comment. That's the one I want. I want the tough ones. I don't want the easy stuff. So what do you have?
All right. You say you want the hard ones, right?
I want the hard ones, man. Give me the tough ones.
Okay.
The easy stuff anyone can answer.
All right. I'll go from the top. So the U.S. ain't the same country as when it started, not a comparison. So
absolutely, United States of America. First of all, it wasn't the United States of America. What it was some desolate land way, way, way across the water that took about 3 months on the ship to get there. And when you got there, it's lions and tigers and bears. Oh my, that's what it was. That's why everyone wasn't rushing there. That's why the people who had money over in Europe, they weren't coming over to visit. They sent other people over. They sent Susie and Mary and Philip and all those people over. And they said, I'm going to pay your way to this new land, to this new world. And when you get there, what I want you to do, what they wanted to do, is start to settle the land. They wanted them to take up the trees. They wanted them to build some homes so that when they came, the ones with money, that it would be comfortable for them. Or if not comfortable, it would at least be safe. So it was the new world, and it took a number of years to make it where it is today. That's why, as slaves, when we got here, as kidnapped Africans, when we got here, part of our role was to settle the land. And that's what we did. And that's why I say we were some powerful, powerful Black people. We were some strong Black people, right? Still are. We were intelligent. And the white folk that brought us over, brought the slaves, they said, no, I want a slave that can do rice. I want a slave that knows how to do cotton. I want a slave that knows how to build dams and what have you. So when we came, we really came to do specific tasks. That was for the smarter ones. Other ones say, I just want you to do some cotton. And the reason why they wanted us to do that is because cotton was a demand all over the world. The whole world needed cotton. 80% of the income that came to the South during that time period was generated by us. We brought in 80% of the dollars, and that's down south. And then people up north need to realize the stuff that they were making from that cotton, so a good percentage of their money that they were making came as a result of what we did. Now, if someone wants to debate that, I'm open to debating that. I don't care who you are. I don't care where you're from. Open your science book. Look at it. Check it out. Look at the data. Look at the information. 250 years. 250 years. Look at what was happening. And I'm not mad at anybody because it was a business deal at that time. But don't try to run a game up on me now as if we didn't do that. And like the people now going, they're going to change. How the heck you going to change history? Just because you erase something doesn't mean you change it.
Okay.
That is absolutely ridiculous.
I was going to play devil advocate, they're trying to remove the books now. So you
remove the, here's my take. If you're I don't care who you are. If you're stupid enough to say we're going to get rid of books, don't you understand we have something called computers? We have something called phones. Do you understand that this stuff is not just here in the United States? The information about how Americas was settled, just like how other places in the world were settled, it's all over the world. So you are absolutely ignorant and you are lost and you are afraid if you're making statements about let's get rid of Africans in our history and African Americans. If you got rid of African Americans in America's history, there would be no America. Take for one moment. If you took away all of the contributions that the enslaved Africans made here in America for 250 years, America would not be. If it was, it would be some small community somewhere, but it wouldn't be what it is today. If you're making that kind of statement, you haven't read a damn book. It blows my mind. Go on AI, or better yet, go back to the Encyclopedia Britannica that we used to have in our house. If you had a question, you'd go to the Encyclopedia Britannica and you'd look it up under, slavery, and you pull the book down and you would read it. Back then, they had the information and data. So I don't know, whoever that is that wants to talk about that, please call me. Please, let's have a conversation. Please, let's come here with us, with Brother AI over here. I call him AI because his brother does some good AI stuff. Come and let's sit down and talk about it. And don't hide behind the phone or what have you. Bring it up, but bring your history with you. Come right, or don't come. So anyway, what else?
But before we do that, we're working on that. So we have a public place people can actually come in and sit. But the thing is, I'm asking them to come, like, share their location, like, hey. But that's in the works. Basically, here in Columbus, we have a physical place, open public space.
Like a studio place.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. And see, that's what we need now. I think what's happening in America, there's so many people, and I don't mean ignorant in a negative way. They just don't know. They haven't read a book. They have been so busy doing their own life. They think that their life is everything, but your life is just a little bit of drop in a big old ocean. And there's all this other stuff that's going on. And there are things that influence the ocean, or there are things that influence your life and your living, and your mama's living, and grandmamas, and granddaddies, and all of them. I don't care who you are. If you're in America right now, do your own history. Do your own history and find out how you got here and what was here when you arrived. What were the conditions under which people were living? Why was there even a piece of land? Why was there even a house? Why was there even a log cabin? Why was there even anything for you to live in? Even when the people, let's go west, young man, there was a game they were running. America wanted the new world, the money people wanted to take over and find out what was happening out the west. So that's what it said, let's go west. They wanted them to do the same thing that the slaves did. Slaves came here and settled all this kind of stuff, and they wanted them to go west and do the same thing. Then what did they do? They went out and jacked them Native Americans up, stole American natives' land, gave them blankets with all kind of disease on, and we know they did that. America, or the Europeans, killed 60 million buffalo just to get a hat or a coat. They would kill them and they would lay rotting in the fields. And the Native Americans were using those for everything, for their homes, for their tents, for their tools, for their food. But they didn't care. I mean, let's talk about it. At this age, at 83, I'll be 84 in about another week or so. I'm angry. And the reason why I'm angry because people are trying to pump crazy smoke up my face and make me believe that. I use pumping up my face because I'm talking on your say. I would say something else. But really, please do your history. If America did it, I have one video that I play in one of my classes. It's a 52-minute video. My take is if everyone in America just played that one video, it would have a significant impact on how we interact and deal with each other. One video is how the house we live in. It's called The House We Live In. And it's called Race, the Power of Illusion. Race, the Power of Illusion. And you can get segments of it online on YouTube and what have you. But if they just took that 55-minute piece, and if everyone in America would sit down and look at it and listen to it, it would make a significant shift in how we engage people and how we understand people. And no one's trying to say, take care of me. That day is gone. People saying, get the hell out of my way. Give me the same opportunities that you give yourself, that you would give your brother, your sister, your cousin. And let's do something together, because here's the deal. If America would put the dollars into everyone that's here in America, and by putting dollars, I mean giving everyone a free opportunity to be the best that they could be, there would be so much wealth to go around. Everyone would participate. And if America made people who have the wealth, the ones who had the $300 billion, the only reason why they have that much money is because they haven't shared the dollar and the profits that they made with the people that helped them make the profits. And all of you know what I'm talking about. These larger companies, larger organizations, they're going to start somebody with a salary of what? $12 an hour. Well, now they're going to $15 an hour, $17. Start them off at $25 or $30 an hour. If you got $300 billion done it, that you wouldn't even feel that. You wouldn't even feel that. And everyone would rise and everyone would be in a better position. So, yeah, I'm angry. I really am. And I'm not angry at any one individual. I'm angry because we as a society, with the amount of knowledge that we have, the technology that we have, we just won't stop and do what's right for everyone. Everyone. I don't care who you are. I don't care whether you came as an immigrant. And people are upset with immigrants. And if you're a Native American, you came as an immigrant. Your family came as an immigrant. And people, what do they want? They want the same thing your family wanted. They wanted the same thing when Europeans came to America. One of the things they had was this land grant. You sign up and they say, all right, hook your buggy up and ride out past the river or the stream or what have you. And whatever land you come to, drive a stake in the ground and that's your land. You didn't pay for that land. Come on, give me a break. Let's tell the truth about what's happening and what's going on. Anyway, and see, I need questions. Give me another question, man.
So let's dive into the woman's part. The woman getting paid less.
Oh, yeah.
There's some comments about that. Women typically choose the lower pay wage.
Oh, yes. Who in the heck would women choose the lower pay? What was that person? They must have been drinking some kind of something. Why would a woman want to go on a job and choose the lowest pay, lowest wage? I don't know of any woman that I've ever talked to in a classroom, and I've talked to literally thousands, who would say, well, if I go to a job, I want to apply for the lowest wage. No, what has been happening, they would bring women in at the lower quartile of a particular area and bring a guy in at a medium or higher quartile within that. I think I'm using the right term, within that pay range. And that's what happened to women. Now, other people say, well, you know that they had babies. So what? If they didn't have babies, we wouldn't have a society. So why would we pay them less? Pay them more. And if you're getting ready they have 9 months to let you know about having a baby, right? So you prepare someone to come in and take over after that person. Back them up, support them, because everybody has babies. I mean, no, everyone doesn't. Women have babies, but all people have babies in their family. And you want your baby to be happy. You want your baby to be well nourished. You want the baby to be psychologically fit. And you need someone to do that. And the best person to do that is the mom. And Europeans, they have a better view on child rearing. And when that happens, I think they allow the man to be off and the woman to be off for a longer period of time. Because what they know, that child, if you give that child what he or she needs when they're babies and you bring them up, they're going to be healthy contributors to the society. If you don't, then they could be sickly, they could be ill, they could be poorly. I mean, it's to me, it's common sense. But apparently it's not common sense to a lot of people. And for whoever you are that says women selected to have a cheaper salary, if they did, this is my opinion. If a woman did that, I think the only reason why she would have done it was to know that if I asked for a higher salary, they would not hire me. And the only way I can get in to get a job is ask for the lower wage. But as I said before, women have higher grade point averages than men. People could argue with me about that if you want to argue about that. Women multitask better than men. Right now, that's why I think they have them flying jets and all these other things, because they find that women can do a whole bunch of stuff the same as men can do a whole bunch of stuff. And so allow the person, male, female, gay, straight, whatever they might be, to apply for that job and pass the same kind of criteria that anyone else would have to pass to be able to move forward. In the military, there are jobs in the military that women could perform exceptionally well in. Just like there are jobs in the military that men cannot perform really well in. So it's give people the opportunity. That's where I'm coming from. That's the only thing that I'm saying. And if we cared enough about everyone to give them help them to be the best of whoever they are, the best of themselves. And systems do that and organizations do that. The organization would grow and they would thrive. Now, hold me accountable too. If I'm not doing the job, say you're not doing the job, then bingo. And you don't have to terminate them. What you could say is, hey, this may not be the job that you're doing well, but maybe there's some other jobs in this organization. So let's see what we can find for you. Because if you get rid of that person, you don't know who is going to be coming in the door after that individual. There's a way to make this a really healthy society where everyone can win and everyone can benefit. Other question?
All right. This is the last one for the comments, but to add to that, you mentioned like to 2040 is what they're saying when women
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Someone mentioned that's how long it would take for women to do their job, how long it would take for women to train women.
That's ridiculous. It's not going to take women till 2040 for women to be able to have the psychological, emotional, mechanical achievement to perform their tasks. It's just that the system has been set up the way it is, and they figure in order to get all these things shifted and all these things changed and the rules and the policies and put enough pressure out there, that's a number somebody picked. I don't know who even selected that. And my take has been this. If I can tell a woman that we're going to have you will be making pay equitable to a man by 2040, then you can do it now. All you have to do is set the standard. If you meet this standard, you get this wage, period. If you don't meet the standard, you don't get the wage. Now, what some people might be afraid of, maybe some of the men can't meet the standard. So then their wages would drop. That would be a thing that folks might be worried about or might be concerned about. But if we wanted to as a society, here's my take, I would tell people, if we have landed on the moon, do you understand that? We took a plane and filled it up with fuel and made it a bomb. But instead of it blowing up, we allowed that fuel to empty in such a way that it propelled this plane up into the air, out into space, over to the moon and land and come. If we can do that, we can do anything. And the reason why we were able to do that is because people put their minds to it and they studied it. And it wasn't just men who were able to do that. All of us know that women were involved. Black women, white women, Asian women, Hispanic women were involved and would have been even more involved had they permitted it at that time. But there was so much racism and sexism and homophobia that was out there that they wouldn't let people in who had the skill set to perform it. We would be so much further along and so much safer if we just opened the doors and let equity run the game. Now, here's one thing I think people might come up and say, well, why do we have affirmative action? The reason why we had affirmative action, when I talk about it, one of the ones I use that it's easy to use, and that's fire department. They found that in some fire departments, women have been excluded from participating for a number of years. So what they said to that fire department, what you have to do, your next X number of hirings, you had to make sure that you had X number of women involved because you intentionally excluded them from the job. Well, Blacks, Hispanics were intentionally excluded from jobs. Not that they came and applied and they didn't. They were intentionally excluded from the job. If they got the job, they put them at the lowest possible level. They made them do the most work. They made them do the dirtiest work. They made them do the hardest work that was out there. And then when something happened, they were the first one that they fired. So what system was saying is, dag, if you intentionally exclude it, then damn it, fix it. Go back and and any one of you, if someone treated you poorly over a period of time, or someone treated your mother, your father, your grandmother, your great-grandmother, intentionally in a negative way over a period of time, you would be ticked. And you would want them to make up for that. And white males do it today. And I'm not picking on white males. But if you exclude a white man, they're going to file a suit against you. That's the way it should be. If you exclude someone intentionally, then you ought to fix that. And that would probably get to reparations. And then reparations would say that America had been paying reparations. They paid reparations to the Japanese during the Second World War. They paid reparations to Native Americans. They paid reparations to other places. What has happened for 250 years, probably closer to 350 years, they have intentionally excluded us. So how can we compete at the same level if we start the race at the 20 yards behind the other people on the starting line? I don't care how fast I run, how hard I run, I'm not going to be able to catch them. So the only way that I'm going to be able to catch them is if we figure out how do we give us a chance to come up and participate. And so I think reparations is a part of that. And I don't think they're going to run around and put money in people's hands. But what we should do, if we excluded people, Black people, Hispanic people, whoever, from being able to get education, from being able to go trade schools, from being able to go to colleges, for a certain period of time, they need to open up those schools. They need to open up that education. They need to open up things in colleges so that those people who were intentionally excluded and left out can at least have a chance to build up to a level where they can compete and their children can compete. Yeah, I mean, it's a long thing. It's something we got to deal with. But I don't know of anyone, if that had happened to your ancestors, that you wouldn't want some kind of understanding, some kind of compensation for it. I am in no way saying that you should put X number of dollars in every African American's hands. That is not the way to do it. That would not accomplish the goal at all. Matter of fact, that would probably make it even worse. So,
okay.
What else?
So that was from TikTok, all right? That was not my comments. I didn't even hit the YouTube comments.
Okay, all right.
But yeah, we're going to move forward. I want to play a little devil advocate because he gave me some ideas. I want to play a little devil advocate.
Okay, all right, play the devil. Come on, devil. Advocate.
You was mentioning, hold on, pause.
You better take a note, man, and write it down.
Yes.
I'm the old one, forgetting that. You need my pen to write some names down.
Yeah, I'm like, man. So you say let's say everybody get on playing equal field. Some people may say like the rich people would take all the money again.
Well, you know, that's because if that happens, that means that the system that they put in place to manage that and to govern that is not an equitable system. And that's what's been happening. You know, I keep looking at that. I say, where in the world is there peace and tranquility and equity? And it's hard to find it unless the places that have it are those places where they absolutely have systems and processes in place that are equitable, that are balanced for everyone. And people are held accountable for what they do. And so that being the case, and again, as I just said a few minutes ago, we put, 2 guys on the moon, something like that. I think 3 or 4 of them went up there. If we can put somebody on the moon, you telling me we can't create an equitable system?
Yes. Okay. Yes.
I mean, but think about that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what it takes to land someone on the moon, then bring them back?
Yes.
So if they can create systems, we have space stations. We have people out there in space right now that are going around and around, and somebody else comes up and somebody else brings them back. That stuff is worked out to the nth degree. So we can't put systems in place to govern dollars and money and equity. We could do that if we decide that that's what we're going to be about. If America is going to be about America being open and we have a constitution and we follow those things, then we could do it. But you have to have people who say, we're going to do it. I want it to work that way. Boom. And it can happen. Now, easy? No, but nothing of that magnitude is easy. But we can do it. We can make it happen. And I'm willing to, I could come up with 100 people that I think would make sure that it was equitable and balanced. So call me when you're ready for that.
Awesome.
Reparations, call Jim. I'll help you put the system in place.
Okay. You mentioned reparations. So it could be said that they're building our infrastructures to help us be able to accommodate the reparations. For example, Mr. John Hope, he's saying, like, if we do get reparations, we need education on how to spend it. Like, but I'm thinking, Tusker, the bombing, the Black communities, like, can we really be prepared for a reparation?
You like Black Wall Street?
Yeah.
Well, let's look at Black Wall Street. They didn't even give Black Wall Street reparations. And Black Wall Street was able to accomplish everything that the other cities were accomplishing. And what happened was, there were some white people, probably very small number, at least starting off, that didn't like to see the progress that we were making. So what did? They came up with a really crazy issue, And they went and bombed them. They killed them. They shot them. They bombed them from planes because what they were able to do was to come up to a place of equity to their white peers. And the white peers who had the power, who had the system, who had the control to planes, the bombs, and they bombed them and killed them. So I don't know. It's there. I don't know if I've said this before, but here's where I feel that the system really went off. During slavery, you had Native Americans. They stole the Native Americans' land because they wanted that land to build. They just came and stole their land. And if you don't believe me, go on and look at Native American land grant something. No, it's in the it's in the Bill of Rights and all those other kind of things. So it's documented. So they just said, we like your land, we want your land, so we're taking it and we're going to send you away from it and what have you. And they did those kind of crazy things. The Trail of Tears is a perfect example of that. Okay, the second thing that they did, they said all the white people from Europe that are currently here, which we know were not the upper crust, they were not the middle class, they were the lower end of the lower class. Those are the ones who were in debt. Those are the ones who had been in prison. And not even justifiably placed in prison. They just happened to be there. But those are the ones that they initially sent over here to settle the new world. And then they took us, who had been dropped off and we were slaves. They said, well, Native Americans are gone. White people are here, and we can control them because they need to come to us to get a job. So we're going to make you black folks slaves, and we're going to make your children slaves and your children's children slaves. Well, what happened was the whites were the overseers. So after working for a while, the overseer said, well, dang, my condition doesn't seem to be that much better than that of the slave. Look at the kind of house I'm living in. Right next door to Big Mama's house. Big Mama feeds the kids. I go to Big Mama for medical benefits. She watches the kids and all those kind of things. I'm not that much better off than the slave. So they went to the slave master and told him, well, hey, look, I'm protesting. I want to be a little bit higher than the slaves. And the slave master told them this. And this is Jim White. This is a Jimism. Prove me wrong, though. Slave master said, as long as you are one step above the slave, you're getting the house, you have food, you have freedom, and you also control the slaves. Don't come to me to complain about anything. You have advantage over the slave. Now, that, in my opinion, from what I've read and what I put together, that was a piece that was put in place for the poorer white folk to have their own self-esteem. The way they said, okay, I made it. As long as I'm above, one step above those slaves at that time, as long as, and the N-word at that time, and today, as long as I'm above, one step above black people, then I'm okay. And anytime they saw that we were at parity with them or higher than them, that was an insult to their own character. And what did they do? They came, they killed us, they bombed us, they took our land, and there were literally thousands of situations where they did that to individuals who had a bigger house in the community, where they did it to smaller communities in a town, where they did that to them. And then Black Wall Street is a perfect example of it. And there's still a mentality in their heads, and I don't mean all of anything. I never talk all whites, all black, all Asian, all Hispanic. If the shoe fits, wear. If it doesn't fit, then just leave the shoe alone. But some people feel that as long as I'm a little bit, one step above the black people, then I'm okay. But when I see them get to parity with me, that's when they do it on jobs. We would go to a job and we would be performing at their same level or higher. They wanted to get rid of us. They wanted to put us down. On that. It is so obvious. Lord have mercy. So anyway, okay, go ahead.
I want to test your Jimism. Your
okay, Jimism. Okay,
yes.
my stuff. Okay.
It's mentioned that, for example, therapy, like when you go to therapy, you learn how to survive from other people that's hurting you. So if we know that people are threats of us, and
if they're what?
If we know how to deal with our therapy, yes, we know how to adjust to the threat.
Okay, to the threat. Okay.
But America knows how to fix its issues, but it's causing it. So my question for Jimism is, if we know that the white people don't want us to be one step above, like, what is the solution? Like, how do
we always fight against
I got
them? You. Here's my take. I think, first of all, we need to put that out there. We need to put that out there and lay it in front of everybody, black folk, white folk, Asian, Hispanic, what have you. And then that will allow us to be able to test that theory. But I'll give you another piece where it was tested. In 1790, the Supreme Court of the United States said, if you want to be a citizen of the United States of America, you had to be white, of good moral and ethical character. And you have to be a WAS. You had to be a white Anglo-Saxon Protestant. So that was the level. You had white people, check your history, coming over from Europe, Italians, Jewish, Slovenians, every other ethnicity around, wanted to come to America, and they wanted to do what? They wanted to be like the WAS, the white Anglo-Saxon American. And North America said, hell no. No, you don't fit the criteria. And so they had to wait. They had to fight like heck. And if you don't believe it, go look at who came over in Ellis Island and where they go to, what kind of ghettos were they in, what were the people saying about those people. They said their innate character is the stuff that's causing them to function at that low level. And they were saying that to other white Europeans. That's the stuff that they were saying. And so as a result of it, they couldn't become Americans. The only other group that was given citizenship at that time was African Americans because of the Emancipation Proclamation. But this group at the top, the WASP, they got power, they got control, they got jobs, they got authority, they had everything. But when the African Americans, when we were given the emancipated, we didn't get any of that stuff. We were at the bottom. We were with what they called a part of the permanent underclass in America. The permanent underclass in America was black folks, Mexicans, Native Americans, and Hispanics. We were called the permanent underclass because that's the way we were treated. So you can go back to that level and see how they fought like heck to bring things up to parity. Now, the thing that really, in my opinion, allowed white people who used to come, I'm Irish American, I'm Italian American, I'm Jewish American, I'm Slovenian American, they dropped that hyphenation when they knew that they could be in America, they could be treated with equity, they would be treated equally the same as any other white person. They felt there's no longer a need for me to hold on to the hyphenation. And the other thing that allowed them to be at parity is when America started fighting wars, they couldn't fight wars with just WASP. Who did they need? They needed all them other white folks from Europe to fight as Americans. We're fighting as Americans, Now, even with that, guess what they said to the black folks, to the Hispanics, to the Japanese? They said, well, no, we can't give you a gun and let you don't even know how to take care of your damn self. So what would you do? We can't trust you. But if we will let you come in, but if we bring you together, we had to have a white military officer in charge of you because as black people, you can't think well enough to do it yourself. And here's a contradiction. They said, and you don't even know how to fight. Now, you said we can't fight in the war, but then back here in America, you accuse us of fighting all the damn time. It was so crazy. And it wasn't until hear me, please. It wasn't until they ran out of white males in the infantry and ran out of white males flying the bombers that they said, damn, we're out of white guys. Who else can fight? Hey, well, there's some black guys over there. There's some there's some Japanese guys over there, black Japanese, Hispanics. And so let's get them to fight. And then that's how we were able to come in. Because when all the fighting was going on, they only allowed us as blacks to what? Deliver supplies. They only allowed us to go in and get the bodies and bring them back. They only allowed us to set up the mess kitchens and feed everybody. And this is something, think about this. This is probably why I'm mad as hell. Here I am, my ancestors and my uncle, my grandfather, who's in the military, they could come and set up the kitchens for you. They could cook the food for you. They can serve the food for you, to you. But then when they wanted to sit down to eat with the white GIs, guess what they told them? You can't eat with us.
I would just put
what kind? Do you hear that, man?
That's what they're in. That's how the Haitian also getting independence. Like the armies would eat their soup. The soup, right, is poisoned. So
well, of course, I can see why they would, man. But hear me, folks. And here's what I want. Please, someone push back on me. Tell me I'm out of my damn mind when I'm making that kind of a statement. That's what went on in the military. We had white soldiers who were rejected by black soldiers who were rejected by white soldiers. And we're fighting together. So when they ran out of people, though, then that's when they decided, oh, we need you. Come on in and jump in with us and start fighting. And in the Second World War, the First World War, what ended up happening, America sent the black soldiers over to France, and they fought with the French. And the French said, damn, these are great soldiers. And they were treated with highest level of respect. America said, don't treat those guys too well, because guess what? They have to come back home. And we're not going to treat them with the level of respect that the French people are treating them. Folks, check it. Tell me I'm crazy. Please tell me I'm crazy. Tell me I am wrong. But and what I'm saying today is, I believe everyone today is really equitable. And I believe if everyone today knew the history, that they would immediately say, let's come together, hold hands, and sing We Are the World and all those things. That's what I'm saying, right? So know your history. And knowing that, then what do you have to say about where we are today, how we have equity, and so forth and so on? Okay. I'm forgetting what I'm saying. So what's next?
So I want to challenge you then.
Okay.
You said the France, they said the black people were okay? Because they won that oppression against Haiti.
Right. Well, yeah. Well, the French in the First World War, I don't know what First World War, were they fighting against the Haitians in the first? I don't know. See, I don't know the history of Haiti, but I do know that in the First World War, they were fighting other Europeans. I thought it was Germany. I think Russia was involved in it. I don't recollect them fighting against Haitians. And so what they did, they received credit and they received recognition for their bravery when they were fighting the Europeans during the First World War. And the French were the ones that gave them that recognition, because they said they were noble, strong fighters, good people. The women loved the French guys. A lot of guys married some of the French ladies and all that other kind of stuff. And so that's what was happening at that particular time. And then U.S. told the French, stop treating those guys, probably didn't say it that way, so well, because they have to come back to United States of America, and we're not going to treat them with that level of respect. As a matter of fact, many of our soldiers came back from the First World War, especially, and even the Second World War, and they were killed. They were beat with their uniforms on. People got mad at them because they came back as black soldiers with their uniforms on, and they would kill them, beat them, reject them, make them go to the back of the bus, make them use the side doors to get food. Folks, I am mad. I'm mad as hell, and I don't want to take it anymore. I mean, I really don't. And you shouldn't take it anymore. If you believe that America is America and it's about all the good things, freedom and justice for all, we the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, to establish If you believe that, then stand up. Find out what the truth is. And then challenge those things when they're not true. Challenge those things that are not allowing America to be the best that they can be. Now, I don't know about Haiti, because I thought that the Haitians...
I just want just that little hate.
Yeah, because I know. Yeah, the reason why Haiti is catching hell and caught hell was because of the French, because of the British, and because of the United States of America. When Haiti achieved their freedom and threw whoever they were fighting, was the French. Yeah, Napoleon. When they threw his butt out of Haiti, America, Britain, and France said, we're not going to allow you to come in and to participate. And they also made the Haitians pay the white slave, I guess they were probably French, the white slave owners, they made them pay reparations. That's another reparations piece. Haitians paid the slave master reparations, because I'm not going to be a slave anymore. Yeah. So you're going to make me pay because I want my freedom. Come on, man, it's a crazy world. It is crazy. I mean, think about that.
Yeah. I also want to say, through this, there's a quote mentioned by Mr. Brown. He says, this is their fight. So when he said their fight, I didn't understand it. The white people fight. But when he broke it down, how he made the white elites, I don't know what you say, but then everybody else, now I'm starting to see what he means by This is their fight.
Now, who's saying this?
Mr. Brown. Because like during the election, like they're fighting for power right now.
Right.
So white people fighting for power, basically.
Right.
And you mentioned earlier what's the top white?
What?
The top white people?
The elite. The elite.
What's that name again? Anglo-Saxon?
WASP. White Anglo-Saxon Protestant.
So,
that was 1790.
Yeah, so it's WAPs against all the other whites.
Right.
That's
what's
in the fight right now.
Right.
That's what we're seeing transpiring right now.
Right. But that was happening in 1790. And then again, as the Europeans, and something else too, for folks who don't realize, the Europeans that left Europe to come to the New World weren't leaving Europe because it was a sunny vacation over there, that they had all the good things that they wanted, that they were being treated equitably, that they were given opportunities. They left Europe because some were run out of Europe, others were in poverty, they were starving, and they wanted to find a new place to live and grow. Now, there could be some of the Europeans that came to America during that time who said, well, we're just doing really, really good in Europe and things are so great for us, but we just want to go and find someplace else to start over again. That could have been the case. But the vast majority weren't coming to America because, we're being treated so well over here. They were coming to the New World for greater opportunities like everyone else. Or they said, hey, I don't own land here, but maybe if I go to America, they're giving away free land. Hear me? They're giving away free land, and I can come and get some of that free land. Now, one more thing, too, let me throw this one out. One of the things that Lincoln said before the Emancipation Proclamation was signed, he said, if we free the slaves, then what are they going to do? They've been slaves for 250 years. All they know is the land. That's all they know. So what we did with the original indentured servants was we gave them 40 acres and a mule. So Lincoln said, what we're going to do is give the slaves 40 acres of land. He didn't say a mule, because they were the mules probably. But we're going to give them 40 acres because that's all they know. How else can they live and how else can they survive? Well, after he was assassinated, Johnson, who came up after him, and I think it's Andrew Johnson, he said, I'm not giving them slaves anything. They just let them go. They're free. Now, you've been in servitude, slavery, for 250 years, and someone says you're free. Where are you going to go? To your cousin's house? To your friend's house? You have no place to go to. So they have to indenture themselves back to the slave owner. And you know that he wasn't going to give them a good deal. And so it just perpetuates. Folks, read their history. Please understand it. And today it's so much easier because you don't even have to read it. You can listen to it. If you don't know anything, go and ask AI. AI will give it to you and you can listen to it. Look at the books and the tapes and the programs and the TV stuff. Check. Don't run around in a society like the United States of America, which is a great place, and just be totally ignorant of what happened and how we became who we are. Please, please, please. And if you think I'm crazy, tell me I'm crazy and show me how what I am saying is wrong. Make me correct myself. Make me apologize to who is out there who's saying what I'm saying is not true. Please. I want to hear it. I really do. Okay, what else?
All right. I don't want to close too early, but I want to say this is, how do we create the change? All right. We speak out, we read, we do our history. So it will be a solution for us to unite. Is it unite?
Yeah.
Is that the solution?
United States. No, here's what I believe. I believe, first of all, that the younger kids that are coming in today, because of technology and because of computers, they have more exposure to people different than them. I don't care what your race might be. So you have exposure to people who are different. So that's a plus. And then the other thing I think we have to do, I just believe that I think TV could correct this and get us moving in the right direction in 2 years. If they would just put the truth on TV, if they would just show integration on TV, if they would just show that Black, Asian, Hispanic, whatever populations all bring some very, very positive things to our society. So if we take that kind of position and start to share those types of things, if our schools could teach history and civics, and not, when I was in school, they had one paragraph about the slave, and they always had me read that paragraph. And I'm dyslexic any darn way. Boy, that was the worst experience in my life. Let's put the truth in the books, starting at kindergarten right on through. And we could settle this thing in a couple generations, and we could. But there has to be there must be a conscious effort on the side of those people who are in power to be able to make this happen. And if they don't do it, then we have to have a collective of people who are at the bottom to push up strong enough to be able to at least turn the lights on so they would hear it.
I like that. But I'll play devil advocacy again.
Okay.
What if they're tearing down the books to create that we're all equal? They're trying to wipe history to say that we're equal. Like,
so what if they are
to like remove they're afraid to the backlash
history? Okay.
So it's like, hey, we're all equal.
Okay, real easy. If they're saying let's get rid of the history books and today we're all equal, then show it. Show it. Demonstrate it by giving everyone the same opportunity for jobs, same opportunity for education, same opportunities for, access to resources that you would give others. And if they do that across the board, then here's something else I was thinking about. I really do feel that this whole period that we went through where we were teaching diversity and DE&I and LGBTQIA+, I really think it had an impact because before people could say, oh, I don't know. Now they do know that there are some differences. We have said it long enough and loud enough that people know that there's differences and there are inequities. And so people who are of good moral character, they are still going to do the right with people based upon people's credentials and people's skill set because they know it's the right thing. I think now some of them are hesitant because of the administration. Because if they do something that's equitable, the administration will do something to them. But when we move past that, and he can't continue to exhibit the kind of behavior he's exhibiting without there being some repercussions. But I'm too low on the totem pole to deal with it where he is. So what I want to deal with where I am, But I do think that we had that impact, and that some people got it, and some people understand it, and some people have developed relationships with people that don't look like them, and friendships with people that don't look like them, and business partnerships with people who don't look like them. And they know that it's good and it's healthy and it works. So I'm just hoping that we can continue to do that, and we continue because we need allies. And that's why I don't want to alienate white people, and some Hispanic people who are light and they can declare themselves as white, and also some Asian folk who can also declare themselves as Caucasian, that they will just kind of like step up and do the right thing because it is the right. And they know, people at that level, they know the difference. So I'm kind of going around in a circle. But that's kind of where I am. Anything else?
That's all I got. Like to close, like the colorism, like would it ever phase out? Did it ever phase out? It's like the colorism, like the white people think they're elite, but like black people, we always elite in our own world. Like, because I know people that are Haitians that bleach their skin, Dominican that bleach their skin,
African,
Mexicans, African, they all bleach their skin. Like,
I remember
is that a whole different topic? Like,
I remember that myself as a youngster, where you could get skin lightener, and some people would put skin lightener on it. But the reason, and I think people need to understand, well, why do they do that? The reason why they did that, and for me, it was light skin, dark skin kind of thing. But the reason why people did that was because, well, and also, have you ever heard the paper bag tan test?
Yes, the Family Guy is a cartoon like the,
Oh, you want, okay, yeah. So the paper
but you can explain it more. I just learned off.
Okay, well, the paper bag tan test was for certain groups that were African American in where I lived in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. If you wanted to belong to that group, your skin had to be lighter than paper bags, the paper bags that they use to put groceries in. And if your skin was lighter than that, then you could be a part of some of those groups. If your skin was darker than that, need not apply. Also, there were some churches in some areas where they had that tan around the door.
Wow.
And if you were darker than the tan around the door, then don't come to this church because we're not going to have you. Now, why would people do that? Because people say, well, blah, blah. Here's why. They knew that if they were of lighter complexion, they could get education, they can get better jobs, they could go and get housing, they could go to restaurants. And so they worked like heck to do that which was in the best interest of their families, and not necessarily to put other people down. But they said, if I can get away from having that racism placed on me, I'm going to do that. And people even told their children to marry light. And the reason why they did that was because if they married light, they had a better opportunity. Well, had there not been the racism that's out there, that would never have happened, because you would not have to have worried about, do I get a good job? Can I get an education? Can I move in certain kind of communities? That would not have been, so people would not have gone through those kind of changes. People work like heck to advance themselves and to advance their families. I don't care where they are. And if it would have been reversed, if blacks would have had the power, they'd be getting darker, suntanning, you know what I'm saying? I mean, but it was all about the power. And in order for you to be able to advance and do that which is in the best interest of your family, some people were born that way. They said, I may as well take advantage of how I was born. Then let's think about this. Why did we even have to go through light skin, dark skin? Africans were black. Europeans were white. And I bet it wasn't the African that was growing up having intimate relationships with the woman of the owner of the property, but it was the man, the white male, the white European male that continued to rape our black women and our black children, because they raped them as young as 11 and 12 years old. And that happened over and over and over and over. Understand your history. Understand why there's light skin, dark skin. Please look it up. Check it out and find the facts are all out there. And all I want to do, I think at my age right now, I have to put out all the facts that I know. I have to get it out there. I do.
I have you, but like I need to now go to your house and just like list the books, like give book recommendations to read. That's what we need to do next.
Okay, we can do that.
Yeah.
And matter of fact, I can bring you a list. When I do my training classes, I have a list of books, videotapes, everything that people, if they want to learn more and get more information, that they can. So I'll give you that list.
Okay.
So you have that. And that way, and then anything else we need to add to it, then we can go ahead and do that also. Because there's plenty of books out there. And books that are written by black people and white people and Hispanic people. I know that. I don't know of many Asians that have written any books on that particular topic. But people start to push back when they feel the pressure is on them or the pressure is on their children. We found that a lot of men started to push back on gender when they had their daughter and they raised their daughter like they raised their son. They knew their daughter was smart and intelligent and went to college, blah. And when people would tell them that women are not capable, that's when some guy said, I'll be damned, because I know my baby's capable. I mean, so it's that kind of stuff. It's that kind of stuff that we see when it's thrown in your face or when that pressure is on you or on a member of your family. That's when people start to stand up and fight back. But it's not in the best interest of, I would say this, it's not in the best interest of 85% of Americans for this racism to continue. It is not in our best interest. No way, shape, form, or fashion. All of us would do better if there was equity across the board. Everyone's vote would rise.
I think that's it. But yeah, that's it. But unless you say final words, but yeah.
No, that really would be my final word. And my final word, again, what I'm doing, I'm talking to other African-American males, and I have some white males that I talked with. And not that I don't talk with females, because I do, but I'm just talking about these conversations I have with guys. I'm mad. I really am. After all this time, after all these years, after all the struggles, after all the things that I've tried to do and what they tried to do and what the women... And let me say this. I want to give a shout out to black women, number one. Because black women, you ladies got it going on. You have done some fantastic things, and you have always done an outstanding job for us. And I say that from the top. Yeah, what I want to do, I just want to do the shout out to African American females, because black women, African women made America. And I'll say it even better than that. African American females birthed America. Why do I say that? From the Middle Passage through slavery, through the piece before civil rights, all those times, black women have always been the ones that had to carry the water, that had to carry the weight. And they've done such a powerful, powerful, powerful job. And I want to thank you for that. This is not to say anything negative against white women. No, that's not even what I'm trying to do. But I'm talking about, I want to recognize the black females. And even when I look at them today, where they are and the jobs And some people say, well, they gave them jobs instead of giving a job to black men. Yeah, they did all that. All that's true. But that still doesn't take anything away from the fact that when they did get those jobs, black women really stood up and they turned out and they did outstanding work in those particular time periods. So thank you. And I would like to wish we would have a time and period where we just recognize African American women for all that they've done. So from me, I appreciate you. Thank you.
Yep, also from TikTok, they was saying like if women didn't speak out, a lot of things would be still the same situation. Like
absolutely,
for them to vote, all the things. So like if women didn't speak, it would still be.
Yeah. I mean, because they had to do it too, because it wasn't given to them, you know. And even when they helped in the suffrage movement, when they helped the white women, then the white women rejected them. So, you know, read your history. I just say, read your history, educate yourselves. Thank you.
Yep. Appreciate it. We have the books list. Make sure you guys comment, like, subscribe, but definitely comment. Let us know what you want to hear.
Yeah, please. Don't just comment. Push back, challenge, or make attributions, make your comments to validate the kind of things that we're talking about and just give your input. We really appreciate it.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.